Hi, welcome to What's Cooking with Rochelle. Okay, on my channel, almost everything is half-hour or less recipes. This is not one. It's not hard, but to make a homemade real chicken stock rather than just grabbing a scoop or buying it in a container, we're gonna make it from scratch. If you wanna skip that and you simply wanna buy some vegetable or chicken stock and add the chicken and cook it in like that, it will cut the time down so you can make this in a half an hour or less. We're gonna do it the hard way today. Okay, so the good news is everything in front of you is going to all go in our pot on the stove, and we are simply going to simmer it all together for a half an hour to an hour. I recommend longer, it'll add more flavor. Let me show you what we got here. All right, so we have one chicken breast. Let me go ahead and get that in there. No need to pound it, trim it, or anything at this point. When we cook it in the broth, once it's all finished, we will then be taking it apart and cutting it into bite-sized pieces in our soup. To it, we are also adding some onion, and as you can see, I've left it in quite large chunks, and that is again because we're going to be straining all of this out of it and leaving just the broth with the chicken and dumplings. Okay. I have one carrot here, and you can see I did not even take the time to peel the carrot, all for the same reason. I have 2 stalks of celery. In fact, I even left the top part on. And we are going to add some spices and water, and that's going to be it. So I have a half a teaspoon of all of the following: dried oregano, dried thyme, and dried basil. We have 3 bay leaves here and some whole peppercorns. Leave them whole. And last but not least, we're going to add water and a little bit of salt. You don't want to add too much salt right now. We're going to season it later as well to add more. If you salt as you go along, you actually use less sodium. And we're going to add the water and get that onto a low simmer. Like I said, once it comes to a boil, lower it to a simmer and leave it like that for about an hour. Okay guys, that's the first part to our homemade chicken and dumpling soup, all from scratch. I'll see you back here in an hour. All right, so our stock has been cooking for a little over an hour. Let's take it off the stove. And what we are going to do is fish out the chicken from it. And oops, we'll make sure we get everything off of it. And we are going to put that in this bowl to cool for just a second. And in the larger bowl here, what we're going to do is strain the broth that we've created. Okay, let's go ahead and get our clarified, beautiful broth in here. Excellent. Let's get this back on the stove. And we're going to bring that back up to a boil. Now, we are going to give this a quick taste just to see if we need to add anything to it. Okay, I don't know about yours, but mine needs just a hint of salt. So let's go ahead and add that. Excellent. All right, now the next thing before we mix our dumplings together is to go ahead and get the chicken chopped up. So we are going to take it out here. Now you can chop it however you want. You could shred it with 2 forks like you would for a chicken enchilada or something like that. Or you can just dice it as small as you would want as well. So let's just cut it in half to get started. And I think I'm gonna make mine. Now you can see I'm cutting across the grain of the chicken because that way it'll make better bites. And then we're just gonna chop it this way. Excellent. And this is probably more chicken than we're gonna need. It's just the size chicken breast that I had. Once our dumpling is cooked, we're just gonna add the chicken back in. And again, you can add as little or as much of it as you would like. But I'm gonna go ahead and get it all diced up for you. And this chicken is super soft. I don't know if you can tell that or not. Let's move these guys over. Okay. Okay, once you feel like you've got that cut into bite-sized pieces, put it back into your bowl. We are going to use the bowl from our broth to make our dumpling. And we have 1 cup of flour here. This is regular white flour. We are adding 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder. Give that a quick whisk. All right, we're gonna make a little well in the center. The key to making a great biscuit is you don't wanna overwork it. Just like when we're making scones, you literally just wanna make it until it's combined. And then we are not gonna roll it, not gonna do anything. We are going to scoop it into our broth and let it steam for 10 minutes. So we have here just shy of a 1/2 cup of milk. And to that, I am adding about 1/4 cup of oil. You choose whichever oil you would like to use. Traditionally, it is made with vegetable oil, but I will leave that up to you. Now, we are also going to add just a pinch of salt and a pinch of pepper to the batter. Once your oil and your milk is combined, go ahead and pour that into the center. And we are going to stir it together. Baking powder will allow it to rise, but not make it super risen. Okay, this is ready to go. Let's check and see if our broth is ready for us. Okay, and you can see that the broth is boiling. Now what we want to do is we want to turn it down just a little bit, otherwise it'll break our dumplings apart as we drop them in. Okay, so we are going to cover this. That will let them steam, and we are going to turn the heat off and let it sit for 10 minutes. Do not open it. I will see you back here in 10 minutes. We'll add the chicken to our soup, and then we can dig in. Okay, our dumplings are done. Let's go ahead and get them out. And you can see how it made our broth wonderful. Let's go ahead and get 2 of these guys. We're going to go ahead and take a scoop of chicken and add some more of our broth. All right, let's dig into this wonderful dumplings. They're light and fluffy. Get a good bite of that. I decided to plate it differently for the money shot, but oh my gosh, this is amazing. The dumplings were fluffy, light, didn't fall apart. The chicken is so flavorful. And that broth just made them amazing. If you liked this recipe, or there's a specific one you'd like me to make, please let me know. Thank you for liking and thank you for subscribing. Please share with others and just look up What's Cooking with Rochelle. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.